Unlock a deeper connection with our community through our Patreon. Gain exclusive access to behind-the-scenes content, bikini hauls, and Patreon-exclusive massage videos. Join our Patreon or download our app to embark on a path of tranquility and self-discovery. Your journey awaits. Namaste.
Hi, thank you for joining me today. We're going to be doing a sequence for low back pain, and this is for anybody in their third trimester of pregnancy. The one thing that you will need is a folded up towel or just anything so that you can sit a little more elevated if you need to. Go ahead and grab what you need and let's get started. If you don't have time to watch this video right now, go ahead and save to your watch later and just do it whenever you get a chance. All right, so we are going to start standing and work our way towards the floor. So let's go ahead and start in just a wide-legged stance. Go ahead and separate your feet a little wider than hip distance. Always in the third trimester, I make sure that I have a nice stable base. So just these little modifications in our practice that we're going to need to embrace. Nice wide stance, rooting down through the feet and lifting up through the thighs, tucking the tailbone in. So in the third trimester, our belly is getting significantly bigger. So we tend to kind of develop an exaggerated sway back. So just really being mindful about posture can go a long way in resolving, some low back pain. So just focus on tucking the tailbone in as you press the thighs back. And you might already just that simple movement start to feel a little bit of relief. And just rolling the shoulders back. But you'll notice that when you really try to open up the shoulders, you can that sway back kind of reinforces itself. So as you roll the shoulders back, just tuck the tailbone in and lifting up through the crown of the head and rooting down through the tripods of the feet below the big toe, below the little toe and center of the heel, feeling solid and balanced through your feet. And just let your abdomen soften and go ahead and bring your arms overhead. Nice long spine here. And go ahead and hinge forward. You can drop the arms holding the calves or the ankles, and you can just gently pull on your legs. Nice stretch for the hamstrings and the calves. And just let your head hang. Some pressure on your abdomen, just light pressure is perfectly fine, but you definitely don't want to be pressing too hard on your belly. I'm gonna hold this for about 20 more seconds. So just tuning into your breath and just letting the head hang, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, pulling a little bit more, moving a little deeper. Sinking right into chair, go ahead and sink your butt down towards the floor. You can bring your palms together. Chair pose, rooting down through the feet, not allowing the knees to move too far past the toes. Feeling that strength in the thighs and just tuning into that strength, to that breath. Full forward fold. Go ahead and grab your calves or your ankles and a little bit deeper this time. And just feeling that release in the low back. If your legs are feeling really stiff, you can bend your knees slightly. And a few more breaths here. Just embracing that stretch in the legs, Achilles heel. Pressing through the feet, go ahead and bring the arms overhead. Nice long spine. You can drop the arms. From here, let's go ahead and separate our feet, getting ready for goddess pose. Go ahead and angle your feet out about 45 degrees, maybe a little less. And go ahead and sink down through your hips. And so just make sure that your knees are moving in line with your ankles, not in or out. So helps to focus on rooting down through the tripods of the feet and really just feeling your own strength here. So rooting down, keeping the spine long, rolling the shoulders back, and really supporting our back with our legs. and our core here. And come on up. This is also a great thing for preparing for healthy delivery. So something to keep in mind. And go ahead and bend those knees, sink down a little bit more, just keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed as we sink down through the feet. Feeling our thighs engage, glutes, and just relax your face, relax your abdomen, and come on up. And one last time, go ahead and sink down, feeling really rooted and strong. Go ahead and rest your left elbow on your left knee and go ahead and just opening up that side body. And opposite side, go ahead and right elbow on right knee and just opening. You need to be really careful of twists. This is a really healthy, good one for third trimester. And one more time, go ahead and bring that elbow onto the left knee and open a little bit more, drawing the right shoulder blade in. And opposite side, feeling solid through the feet as you transition, strong in the thighs. And open. Reach through the fingertips. And you can release and come on up. From here, coming into a wide-legged forward fold, go ahead and you want the outsides of your feet parallel. So you might need to walk your feet out a little bit more so that you can bend a little bit deeper. I like to use my mat to make sure that I'm lined up. Feel free to do that if you want. Again, rooting down through the feet, feeling solid before we transition. You want to keep the spine nice and long, just hinging at the hips, not collapsing the shoulders forward. And you can just hold on to your calves or your ankles. Nice deep stretch. This is also great if your belly's getting big because there's plenty of room to fit. So just embracing that deep stretch in the hamstrings and the calves, staying rooted through the feet. You can rest your head on the floor if you'd like. If you're not quite there, don't worry about it. Another 5 breaths here. Relax your shoulders. Stay engaged. Rooting down through the feet, lifting through the thighs. One more good breath. To come out, root down through the feet, engage those thighs. Come on up. Moving right into triangle, go ahead and pivot your feet. Make sure that your right heel is in line with your back arch, and you want your back foot at about a 45-degree angle. Make sure that you're not dropping your right hip, so you want your hips to be nice and even. Go ahead and lift your arms. So keep that right side body nice and long, and go ahead and reach out over that right leg, and just keeping that space in your torso, go ahead and you can start to slide that hand down, moving into triangle. Just feeling that delicious release in your side body and the low back, creating more space. And drawing that left shoulder blade in, allowing the chest to open. Just looking overhead if balance feels solid. Relax your abdomen. About 3 more breaths here. Staying rooted through the feet. And press through that left heel. Come on up, and opposite side. Let's go ahead and pivot to the left. Left heel in line with back arch. And you might want to explore a wider stance. You can just, you feel a little bit more deep in the pose this way. Keeping that left side body long, go ahead and reach over your left leg, and you can just slide that left hand down the leg. Third trimester is not a time to really push yourself too hard. So really just be gentle with yourself in your practice. And rooting down through the tripods of your feet really helps with balance. Drawing that right shoulder blade in, opening up the shoulders and the chest. And this is one of the best poses you can do to create more space in your low back. And without gripping your abdomen, go ahead and press through that back foot. Come on up. And let's go ahead and step the feet together. So if we get in the habit in our daily life, if we get in the habit of letting all this weight kind of pull our shoulders forward, it creates a lot of slack in our abdominal muscles. So just by practicing proper posture, if you're seated, if you're standing, you engage the core muscles in a really healthy way. So just kind of keep that in mind. You want to keep the shoulders back and tucking the tailbone in. And that in itself will help a lot with low back pain. Coming into a wide squat, go ahead and separate your feet at least hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider. Go ahead and angle your feet a little wider than 45 degrees. And go ahead and just start to sink down nice and slow. Your heels might come up. It's perfectly fine. So just really sinking down through the hips. Go ahead and bring your hands on the floor. Just kind of finding your balance. And when you feel solid, you can come into prayer position. So just breathing into those hips and allowing the heels to sink down towards the floor. They're not quite touching, no worries. And also check in from right to left. One hip might feel a little bit tighter. Just breathing into those hips, and again, lengthen through the spine as you sink down through the hips. And about 3 more breaths here. And taking our last breath, go ahead and as gracefully as possible, you can just come into a seated position and go ahead and grab your towel or whatever you have for support. And it's gonna feel really good to have a little bit of height to work with, a little more height. Coming right into butterfly, go ahead and bring the soles of your feet together. At this stage in our pregnancy, our hips are typically a lot more flexible than normal. So just be careful to not overstretch or push it too hard here. Lengthening through the spine, rolling the shoulders back. Any forward bend, you want to focus on hinging at the hips more than moving from your shoulders. So just coming forward, lengthening through the spine, and allow your abdomen to soften. Go ahead and drop your chin in towards your chest, keeping that cervical spine nice and long. And just start breathing into your groins, your hips, and really check in from right to left to see what side might feel a little tighter. Just restoring that balance from right to left as we stretch. Feel free to come forward just enough to feel a nice satisfying stretch, staying rooted through your sit bones. In about 15 more seconds. Just taking our time. Notice if you're gripping in your abdomen or your groins, and really just allow a softening there. One more good breath. And come up. Coming into a side stretch, go ahead and keep the left leg where it is, and you can just extend that right leg, pressing through the ball of that right foot. go ahead and slide your right hand down and just reaching over towards your right foot. Enjoying that lovely stretch in your side body and low back. Just feeling so much more space in the low spine. About 3 breaths here. Really reaching through your left fingertips to feel a deeper stretch. And release. And opposite side, go ahead and bring that right leg in. Extend through your left leg, pressing through the ball of the foot, keeping the thigh engaged. You can just slide that left hand down the leg and reach through those right fingertips. If your arm is kind of saggy, you're not going to feel as much of a stretch in your low spine, so you really want to reach through your fingertips, keeping that right arm engaged. And as the low back stretches, just allow the belly to stay nice and soft. One more breath. And release. And go ahead and bring that right leg out, coming into seated straddle. So go ahead and just press through the balls of your right and left foot. Thighs are engaged, nice long spine here. I'm just enjoying this nice open position for the hips. Takes a lot of pressure off of the low back. If you want a little bit more, you can just hinge at the hips, lengthening through the spine. Your inner legs are going to want to collapse a little bit, so focus on keeping that space if you can. Rolling the thighs from the inside out. And staying rooted through the sit bones. About 10 more seconds here. Just finding a place where you feel good. And nice long spine, not allowing the shoulders to collapse. And go ahead and release. You can just bring the feet in. And we are going to come into child's pose, so you can get rid of your support. And for child's pose, you want nice wide knees, so big toes close together, creating plenty of space for our belly to fit. And you can just rest your head on the floor. This is probably my favorite pose for relieving low back pain, pregnant or not. Feels really nice on a bolster too, or a couple of stacked pillows. Really just allowing the tailbone to sink towards the heels. Go ahead and walk your hands forward. Feeling even more release in that low spine. Not allowing the shoulders to crowd the ears. And go ahead and bring the hips up. Coming into downward facing dog, go ahead and just bring those knees in a little bit. Tuck those toes under, and just feeling lots of space from tailbone all the way through the crown of the head. Sinking those heels down. If you need to make any adjustments, you can walk the feet forward or back, just really listening to your own body. Pressing those thighs back, allowing the heels to sink down. Drawing the shoulder blades in. And child's pose. Go ahead and wide knees. You can just rest your head. You can just slide your hands by your head. Notice if you're holding your head up or your shoulders, and really just let go. Just relax. Just taking a few more breaths here. Wrapping up our practice. That is all for today, guys. If you enjoyed today's video, just know that there's only a few of these videos from this series on YouTube. You can find the rest on our app, Yoga Plus, so I look forward to seeing you there.
Welcome to Yoga Plus. Courses available from pupil to yogi. Sort by yoga, fitness, and instructors. Create your own routines. Access the Pose Library. Yoga Plus by Psyche Truth, available on Google Play and the App Store.
Join us for 14 and 30-day programs, hour-long classes, and much more on our yoga app, Yoga Plus by Psyche Truth. It's free to download and features a variety of wellness content, including yoga, fitness, Pilates, guided meditations, and interviews with dozens of wellness experts.